Let us discuss the topic called storage allocation strategies. So there are different storage allocation strategies. First one is static allocation. It lays out storage for all the data objects at compile time. So if the memory allocation takes place for the data objects at compile time, then it will be called as static allocation. Next one is stack allocation. It manages runtime storage as stack. So this method uses stack as a runtime storage. Stack means what? It is a data structure. It is nothing but a memory segment, and that stack memory segment will be used for runtime. Heap allocation means it allocates and deallocates the storage as needed at runtime from a data area known as heap segment. It is nothing but dynamic memory allocation. So it lays out the storage for all the data objects at runtime. If memory is allocated at compile time, that is static allocation, and if stack is used as a runtime storage, that will be stack allocation, and allocation and deallocation takes place during runtime, that will be called as heap allocation. In stack allocation, names are bound to storage as the program is compiled. For example, in the static allocation, bindings do not change at runtime. Once we allocate the memory, once we give a value to the variable, that will be there, and bindings do not change at runtime. So here we need to understand two terms, compile time and runtime. When we compile the program, if the memory allocation takes place during compilation, that is static allocation. So that's why bindings do not change at runtime here. When we go to stack allocation, space for the local variables is pushed onto a stack, and whenever a procedure terminates, the space is popped off the stack. Stack is a memory data. Stack is a data structure, and stack uses a memory. Stack is used as a memory while executing the program for storing the local variables, like pushing the local variables into the stack and popping the variables from the stack once the procedure terminates, like that. If stack is used as a runtime storage, then it is called stack allocation. In stack allocation, we have caller's responsibility and callee's responsibility. You see here, caller's responsibility and callee's responsibility, and caller's activation record and callee's activation record. So the control links and saved status, temporary and local data, parameter and return value, and similarly callee's responsibility is also to have the saved status and temporaries and local data, and there will be activation record for each and every procedure that is being executed. So for that, we need to understand the calling sequences for the stack allocation. Procedures calls are implemented by generating what are known as calling sequences in the target code. So whenever a procedure A calls procedure B, and there will be a calling sequence for the target code, and a call sequence allocates an activation record and enters the information into the fields. Whenever a procedure A calls procedure B, and that calling sequence allocates an activation record is required to enter the information into its fields, and there will be a return sequence also, so that the calling procedure can continue its execution. This is called calling sequences. And a code is calling sequence of often divided between the calling procedure and callee procedure. So the calling sequence and the division between caller and callee are as follows. First, the caller evaluates the actual parameters, and caller stores the return address. Then callee saves the register values and also the other status information. Whenever the callee initializes its local data, and it begins execution. So these are the 4 steps. we have in the stack allocation of memory space. And the return sequence steps are: Kali places the return value next to the parameters. Second step, using the information in the machine status field, the Kali restores the top stack pointer and other registers and then branches to the return address that the caller placed in the status field. So although the top stack pointer has been decremented, the caller knows where the return value is relative to the current value of the top stack pointer. Next one, the variable length data on the stack. Here the runtime memory management system must deal frequently with the allocation of objects. We have control link. See here in the control link we have pointer to the A, pointer to B, pointer to C, as well as array A, array B and array C. Like that we have control links. The stack pointer always stores the address of top of the stack. The address of the top of the stack will be stored by stack pointer register. You see pointer A is linked to array A, pointer B is linked to array B, and pointer C linked to array C. See, whenever storage can be allocated, the problem of dangling reference arises. It means when there is a reference of storage that has been allocated. That is about stack allocation, and we have a heap allocation also. When the variables are allocated and deallocated only at runtime, that will be called as heap allocation. It is used to dynamically allocate the memory to the variables when the variables are no more required. And see what happens: whenever it is required, allocation of memory will take place. Whenever it is not needed, deallocation of memory will take place. So except statistically allocated memory area, both stack and heap memory can grow and shrink dynamically and unexpectedly. And there is a procedure for variables which are not local to it. So procedure may sometimes refer to the variables which are not local to it. There are static and dynamic. Static scope rule is also called as lexical scope, and it is determined by examining the programming text. And some programming languages use this static scope rule, like Pascal, C, Ada. These are the programming languages that uses the static scope rule. And these languages are also called as block structured languages. Next one is dynamic scope rule. For non-block structured languages, the dynamic scope allocation rules are used, and they can be run. They can declare or the scope of declaration of the names at runtime by considering the current activation. The programming languages uses this particular dynamic scope rule is Lisp and Snowball.